back to Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party.
Well, I just want to note that the lines get very blurred when you try to distinguish between even the policies of George Bush and Barack Obama on so many key areas, not to mention, that the distinctions are very hard to find between Mitt Romney and George Bush. There's been enormous bipartisan collaboration on deregulation, on tax breaks for the very wealthy, and on the explosion of dirty energy as supposedly the route to a new economy. So we've gotten ourselves into great crises under both parties, and in many ways Barack Obama expanded the bad policies of George Bush with Wall Street bailouts that went ballistic, the continued offshoring of our jobs, the skyrocketing of student debt and home foreclosures, the expansion of the war, the attack on our civil liberties. The list goes on. What's very different in my policies and in Green Party policies is that we support a Green New Deal, which will put everyone back to work at the same time that it puts a halt to climate change and it makes wars for oil obsolete. And as a medical doctor, I want to note that what is good for the economy and for the planet is also good for our health. So it really creates the infrastructure for real health with a local sustainable food system, with fresh food, with public and active transportation that allows you to get your exercise on the way to school, and with clean renewable energy that provides effectively pollution prevention. So we can get healthy and save an enormous amount of money as well by preventing what's 75% of our expenditures under what's really a sick care system, not a health care system. We move to the fundamentals of health as well through the Green New Deal.
Constitution Party presidential candidate Virgil Goode.
Thank you. Dr. Jill Stein is correct in so many areas. Not much difference between Obama, Romney, and Bush. I'll give you a few specifics. Romney, Obama, and Bush will do nothing to control the increasing number of green card, well, 1.2 million green card holders admitted to the United States every year. 3/4 of that number are taking U.S. jobs. Obama is no on my position, Romney is no on my position, and Bush was no on my position. We need a moratorium on bringing in so many foreign workers until unemployment is under 5% and giving them green cards. Troubled asset relief program, bailout for the otherwise known as bailout for the big banks and Wall Street. Obama voted yes. Bush was the big pusher of that. Free trade. Obama, Romney, and Bush, big promoters of that. I was a consistent opponent of CAFTA, NAFTA, and PNTR with China. In the area of education, you had Bush pushing No Child Left Behind, and Obama going along with it afterwards. I voted no on No Child Left Behind because I recognize the federal government should not be the controller and dictator of public education. That should be at the state and local level.
Rocky Anderson.
Big difference between me.
We're going to have to leave it to Rocky Anderson.
Bipartisan corporatism and militarism is what now defines both the Republican and Democratic parties. Barack Obama was partially correct when he said our debt problem is due to these massive Bush budget-busting tax cuts. But what he left out was the military budget, the wars, and the cost of cleaning up after the economic disaster facing this country starting in 2008. And they still haven't done anything to make sure that we don't face that kind of economic meltdown again. We need sufficient regulation of Wall Street and the financial industry. That's not happening under President Obama. It certainly isn't going to happen under President, if there is a President, Romney. Nobody's talking about breaking up the banks that are too big to fail. Nobody is talking about enforcement. There hasn't been one prosecution for the massive fraud on Wall Street during the Obama administration. So we're getting set up again because these folks are serving the interests of Wall Street rather than serving the public interest. We need to get back to leadership like we had under FDR, like we cleaned up after the Depression, putting people to work and putting the people of this country first.